Dani Pedrosa retired from active competition at the end of 2018 after having spent his entire MotoGP career since 2006 at the factory Honda team. He then joined KTM's MotoGP project and has been instrumental in the rise of the team's efforts in the Premier class. All the riders and team officials have at different points credited Pedrosa for playing a big role in the development of the KTM bikes. Recently, Bierer the Motorsports Director at KTM had confirmed that he had already spoken to Dani about making a wildcard appearance for the team this year. Pedrosa has now given his thoughts on this while speaking to Mundo. I'm your host Dillon Shelley, and first up on Moto World, is Dani Pedrosa returning to racing? Pedrosa began by admitting that he is pleased with the part he has played in KTM's MotoGP project. What motivates me the most with KTM is helping to improve the bike, and by extension the performance of the riders. It is also nice to see the technical decisions that are made based on the results of the tests I make. He then looked at the advantages of taking part in a race as a wildcard rider. Participating as a wildcard could allow us to measure certain parameters that cannot be checked in the tests. He then explained why he hasn't done that so far. In my first phase as a test rider with KTM, something like that didn't make sense because I had to focus on getting a good rhythm with the bike. But now that we are beginning to refine details, it could be interesting to participate in a race. He signed off by being a bit vague about whether he will actually take part in a race this year. But I can't tell you if it will happen. Fast feed. 9-time world champion Valentino Rossi is of the opinion that track limits need rules because the situation with the overtaking maneuvers and everything is much more extreme now. The lines have changed a lot. Now there is no more grass next to the slope, but the green stripe. That was done for safety, because if you catch the grass at that speed, you'll fly away. The asphalt, on the other hand, is less dangerous. However, you have to make a rule and say that you shouldn't touch the green at all. See it as if it was still the grass there. At the level we have reached today, which is extreme in many respects, everyone goes over the curbs if you don't have a clear rule. Defending world champion Joan Mir thinks that the Suzuki and Yamaha bikes are not really similar. It's true that they both have the inline-4 engine, but the character is quite different. You see the Yamahas riding in a different way to the Suzukis. The Suzukis are more aggressive. You have more movement. The Yamaha looks more smooth, Mir suggested. Joan Mir also added that penalties for waiting on the track alone will not solve the problem of riders cruising around looking for a tow in qualifying. This is because the same riders will be pushing and the same riders following the others. That's also a bit unfair. Suzuki's Alex Rins has stated that it's been a long time that they have been asking for this rear device. For sure, Suzuki is working hard, but they want to bring things when they are sure they are working well, Rins added. Pol Espargaro, who is still in the first year of riding for the factory Honda team, stated that with no preseason, just racing on the race weekends, when he needs to push to do one fast lap, he crashes or he goes wide. This is a weakness of knowledge, he concluded. Dorna CEO Carmelo Espeleta has explained that after the cancellation of the Australian Grand Prix this year and the change of the date to the Malaysian Grand Prix to stay with Thailand, they had another possibility on the calendar. They talked with the organisers of the Portimao circuit and they made the decision to go ahead because there is a week difference between Malaysia and Valencia to put one more race. This will allow them to reach the original number of races planned, 19. Should track limits be made stricter in MotoGP, with penalties being given for simply touching the green runoff? Head over to my community page to vote in the poll and let me know what you think in the comments. And if you liked this video, feel free to subscribe and check out my others for all the latest in the world of Formula 1.